What's going on, guys? My name is Blocked Boss, and today I'm just going to give my thoughts on the national championship, kind of like I did with the Fiesta Bowl. We got Clemson University after beating Ohio State University, and we have LSU after beating Oklahoma by a lot, destroyed them. They're coming into the national championship on fire. Clemson on fire with their last win. It was an awesome game. I really enjoyed watching the first half. I didn't get to watch the second half live, but I ended up watching back on it and seeing some highlights. I just want to give some thoughts. I just want to give my thoughts on all of it. Throw an analysis out there. Awesome game. Both teams did really well. There's a couple things I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about offense. I wanted to talk about their defense, and I want to talk about special teams, because special teams was a big factor in this game. So Clemson obviously started out with the ball. They lost the toss. LSU decided to defer, so they actually ended up getting the ball first in the second half. So Clemson started out with the ball. Their very first play was a trick play. It looked like it was supposed to be a double reverse, but that didn't end up working. And right away, I thought that Clemson was not looking too good. I thought right away that they were just not in the LSU defense. Right away was showing what they can do, but right away they did answer with a big play down the field off of an offense, or off of a offsides penalty against LSU. So that was pretty good on Clemson's side. But to be completely honest, the way that Clemson's offense played for a while was very impressive. Even though they did start out pretty efficient, they did have some trouble with some penalties and converting on third down. That's a big thing. That's a big factor, especially in the first half of this game. Clemson did struggle a lot with getting first downs, but they were able to make big plays, and that's what kept them alive in the first half, which I think was pretty. It was really good on the play calling for Clemson University. Special teams, that's another thing. Their special teams did a wonderful job. They kept LSU back on their own, inside their own 5-yard line for a good while of the first quarter. I think every single time LSU had the ball, they started out inside the 5, which was detrimental for Clemson University in this game. So super good on the special teams, which opened up opportunities for the defense, and it opened up opportunities for the offense, because in most cases LSU did go 3 and out. So they did usually have really good field position starting out their next offensive drive. LSU's defense did put up a couple good stops in the first half to eliminate them from scoring. But yeah, not too good on both sides of the ball for LSU. But their defense did do decent. But their offense especially did not look very good at all in the first half. What was nice about the special teams on the on LSU side is they did kick the ball pretty well. They did, and the times that they did give Clemson not as great field position was when they drove the ball down just a little bit, and they gave the punter just a little bit of room to boot it pretty far. And actually, I think one of them, they actually got a good roll. I think the ball rolled quite a bit. So that did affect Clemson's offense a little bit. But Clemson did answer. They answered with 7 points, I think, right before the end of the first quarter, I think it was. No, it was about halfway through the first quarter. They scored their first 7 points of the game. After Clemson's first points on the board, Joe Burrow answers with a big play down the field, touchdown LSU. That makes the game 7-7. Going into the second quarter. I think it was going into the second quarter, if I remember right. Yeah, going into the second quarter, 7-7. Great execution by the offense. That wide receiver out there seemed unstoppable. Joe Burrow, even though the first drive after Clemson had scored that 3 points off the field goal, he was not able to score. But their special teams brought Clemson all the way back inside their 5. On both sides of the for both teams that game, they both did really excellent on the special teams. There was a lot of opportunities that they did end up sealing. of putting them inside their inside their 5 or 10 yard line. It was a really good game special team wise. They did both teams did a really good job of giving the other team as much field, as much green in front of them as possible. It was excellent game on the special team side. Unfortunately for LSU, it did end up costing them 7 points. Their defense did not step up. Clemson drove down the field, and when I was watching this again, I only watched the first half of this game. Watching this play, there was so much momentum on the Clemson sideline. It looked like Clemson was going to be able to stay in this game pretty well. You know, they're up by 10 points. You know, they've got a lot of momentum. Their defense needs to come out here and stop them one more time. Joe Burrow with a long pass did cost them a lot of yards, and of course, the Clemson defense actually did pretty good inside the red zone there. They did get them to third down, but unfortunately there was one small spot that Joe Burrow had found, and he ran it right into the touchdown. Man, that guy, he's solid. He's a solid quarterback. He's going to do really good in the league. And I hear a lot of rumors saying he's probably going to go to the Bengals, unfortunately for him. But maybe he turns around. Maybe he turns the Bengals franchise around, and maybe he transforms their offense, which would be pretty interesting, to be honest, because the Bengals have never been able to catch a break. Joe Burrow with the ball back, 14-17, giving themselves an opportunity here. The field pretty quick. The thing about this game is that it wasn't very much of a run game on the LSU side. It was very pass efficient. There was hardly any running the ball. There was a lot of passing the ball and quarterback running. There was a lot of opportunities for Joe Burrow that he did end up consistently doing. He ended up running for a lot of first downs, and big first downs too. And on Clemson's side, it was almost the opposite. There wasn't a lot of pass. There was a lot of passing on both sides, but the pass did not seem to work very much for Clemson, especially in the second half. The running game was where it was at, but it wasn't quite enough. If you're able to run the ball, that's pretty good. But if you can't pass the ball, it's a hard game to win, especially against a team that can pass the ball. So of course, Joe Burrow going to the end zone, super easy pass to the end zone. Chase with a nice over the shoulder catch. Joe Burrow already on fire. Even after a slow start, they ended up having the lead. 5 minutes left in the second quarter. At this point, I was thinking Clemson's going to come back here, and they're going to pull a nice little drive. Trevor Lawrence tight squeeze in the pass on the outside, inside slot on the outside toe. But he wasn't able to complete it. And again, special teams coming in, putting it inside their 10. Excellent special teams, doing great. But it wasn't enough for Joe Burrow. Or it was just enough for Joe Burrow, because they came down here and they scored the ball. Unfortunately, there was a dumb mistake. Pass interference, it was clear pass interference. They just look like they're on fire. They're making big plays. This guy gets struck. Joe Burrow running the ball again, putting it inside the 10, and on the very next play, they put it in the end zone. They're up by 10 points going into the half, with the advantage of getting the ball back in the next half of the ball. Excellent playmaking, excellent drive, historic drive by Joe Burrow. I think if there's any drive that you look back at in this game, that would be the drive right there. That was excellent. Joe Burrow making excellent plays so far in this game. That first half was ecstatic on both teams. But Joe Burrow comes back in this game and shows them. Even though on his first drive he didn't do too good, his next couple of drives he did pretty good. But they're going to give the ball back to Clemson. Trevor Lawrence gets the face mask call. Good 15 yards. Good opportunity for Clemson. And of course, Clemson hardly ever doesn't score in the red zone. Of course, they punch it in. Touchdown Clemson. Excellent playmaking But the only problem with this is after this possession, Clemson does not find the end zone for the rest of the game, unfortunately. Very frustrating second half of Clemson after this point. And they actually do end up getting the 2-point conversion. So that really did help them a lot. But the game becoming close again, 28-25. Perfect opportunity for Clemson to show up here. But again, Joe Burrow doing Joe Burrow things. He passes the ball pretty efficient down the field. A touchdown LSU, making the game back up to a 10-point game. So right here is when Clemson needed to answer on points. This was their opportunity right here. Because if they don't score here, there's hardly any momentum. And you're going to give the ball back to LSU for another chance for another touchdown. And unfortunately, that's exactly what they do. But LSU is looking pretty confident going into their next possession. And then Joe Burrow does more Joe Burrow things. And in the matter of just a couple plays, he barely misses an opportunity off of a missed catch over the shoulder. But it's okay, because Joe Burrow continues to do Joe Burrow things. And they end up kicking a field goal, and he misses. And he misses the field goal. Still making a 10-point game. Huge opportunity for Clemson. But the LSU defense does their thing again and stops them once again. Another missed opportunity for Clemson. Trevor Lawrence just not having the greatest second half of his life at all. He's just not doing great. LSU going into their next possession. They're just trying to wind some clock down, knowing that Clemson is having a hard time moving the ball. So they're just trying to wind some clock down, put some pressure on the Clemson offense. In exceptions to some penalties, they did get backed up a little bit. Going into the fourth quarter, LSU with the ball. More big plays, big tight end catch on 2nd and 10. Burrow just was on fire. The Clemson defense could just not figure out all the holes. Joe Burrow all game was looking great. Another touchdown for LSU, making this a 17-point game. I didn't watch the second half of this game, but by looking at the highlights of this game, you can tell that the momentum that Clemson's got is at a bare minimum. Trevor Lawrence still struggling on offense. Super frustrating. There's a lot of penalties that were handed to Clemson to give them extra opportunity, but they just were not able to convert. Clemson with an opportunity to score, and their receiver does an offensive pass interference. I think, honestly, that this pass interference call was the main reason why they did not come back and win this game. This just breaks the heart of everybody. With an impossible nearly 3rd and 26, it's just hard. And on top of that, he probably could have had a better chance of getting that first down if he would have made the pass. Trevor Lawrence just not looking too good. He's just out of his game. Well, he's in a funk, but he's just out of it right now. And then you have to give the ball back to LSU. They're just going to keep winding the clock down. They're going to run, and they're going to run, and they're going to run. In the beginning of this game, they did not be successful in the run. But they punched, and they punched, and they punched. They continued to get first down after first down, continued to roll down the clock. Excellent play making, excellent execution by the LSU's offensive line. They just continued to fight. They continued to fight. But they wind a crap ton of clock down. I think they wound down at least 4 or 5 minutes off the clock, which was perfect for LSU. Clemson did have a pretty good drive after they had wound up a bunch of clock. A lot of good plays downfield, but then Lauren coughs it up, ultimately destroying their opportunities of winning this game. But man, was that a textbook That was a textbook tackle right there. To strip the ball there, textbook tackle. Again, perfect execution by the defense. And then going back on the field, the offense comes back. And the final first down before the game is over, and your national championships, the LSU Tigers. What a game. Incredible game. I enjoyed watching the first half of that game, and I certainly enjoyed watching the first half, or the second half of the highlights. Great game all around for both teams. I think even for Clemson's past in the playoffs, and Trevor Lawrence going in this game undefeated, and his experience in the playoffs, LSU is just a powerhouse team. They're just incredible. Joe Burrow is going to do great things in the NFL. Their defense is just it showed up for when they needed to. But yeah, I mean, Clemson could have gotten some calls, but I mean, it was a 3-possession game. I get it. You can always go back and say, well, this call could have changed things, but I don't think it would have changed the outcome of this game. I think LSU, even if some of the calls were called correctly, I think the outcome of this game would have been similar. But yeah, both teams, wonderful season. Gosh, man, both of these teams did excellent all season long. I look forward to another season of NCAA football. NCAA football has always been something that's super, super fun to watch, and it's super fun to do these analysis videos. I actually am kind of disappointed that I started doing these late, because these are kind of fun. But yeah, if you did enjoy the game, if you enjoyed me kind of going through things, leave me a like and kind of comment down below and tell me what you guys thought. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And actually, go watch another analysis video. I did the NFL playoff picture. It's not looking too great right now. Of course, the Saints are out of it, but I think it's a good thing to check out or make fun of, because think some of the things are not looking too great right now for my bracket. But yeah, go check that out. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later.